Welcome everyone, my name is Nick and I am doing my first video on whiskey tasting. Now this video is really, it's for the common folk. It's not for the people who are like, oh, it tastes like this, it has fine notes of this and that. I can get into that, but that's not what this channel is for. What this channel is for the common folk who goes out and they buy a bottle of whiskey. Whiskey can range from anywhere from $20 up to $400. And so to get the best bang for your buck, I want to make sure that we go over some of the whiskeys that I have and some of my friends, and we'll kind of tell you what to expect if it's something that you might be interested in. Only you will know that, but I'm going to give you the lowdown. And so today is the first initial video for the whiskey vibe, and so we're going to give it a shot. Our first whiskey that we're going to review today, it's called Whistle Pig. And Whistle Pig, it's distilled in Vermont, and it's a relatively new brand of whiskey. They dabble in rye whiskeys. That's their specialty and stuff like that. So if you like ryes, you might want to give Whistle Pig a chance here. This one here is Whistle Pig Straight Rye Whiskey. It's a 10-year, and so let's give it a shot here. Now I've drank some of this already, so it's not really fair. It's one of my favorites, not my absolute favorite, but okay. Give it a little bit of a pour there. It smells good, smells like whiskey. So this is neat. You can drink this neat, you can drink this on the rocks. You can actually drink it with Coke or whatever your drink of choice is. I don't recommend that, just because if you're going to pay a lot of money for a bottle of whiskey, you want to be able to taste the real flavors of it and stuff like that. If you're going to be mixing, I would stay with the lower end whiskeys, because they're going to do their job. They're going to make you satisfied when you put it with Coke. This right here, it's an acquired taste. It's kind of like coffee. Not everyone likes coffee when you first drink coffee, but you acquire a taste for it. And that's the same thing with Whistle Pig, and that's the same thing with any whiskey, really. Most people don't just come in and start drinking whiskey and they're like, oh, this is super fantastic. You really have to acquire a taste. When I was younger, I won't tell you my age now, but when I was younger, I was in a fraternity. And so at that time, whiskey was just about how much we could pound. Now it's become more of a flavor, the smoothness, and all that other stuff right here. So first drink, we'll give you a heads up. So neat, it's very smooth, has a little bit of bite on the end. Definitely rye. Rye is more spicy. This is a good sipper. This is one that you would use if you want to, sit outside with some people smoking cigars or a pipe or whatnot. This is a slow drinker. I wouldn't recommend pounding this stuff. I usually take this with, I take it on the rocks. Usually I'll have one big ice ball, and I'll put that in there, and that'll go through about 3 or 4 drinks before it actually melts and cracks. Whistle Pig, this bottle right here is gonna run you about $75. I got this at our local liquor store, Specs. What can I say about this? It is 61.3% alcohol by volume. That makes it a 122.5 proof. That's pretty high. So you want to be careful when you're drinking it. This one, on a scale of 1 to 10, we'll do scales from 1 to 10. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give this one probably about a 7 or an 8. Based on what it is. Again, it's not the actual normal bourbon. It's a rye, not a corn whiskey or a corn bourbon. If you don't know what the difference is between a rye and a regular bourbon, I suggest go online. There's a lot of information on it. The basics of it is it has to be 51% corn for it to be a bourbon, but then it has to be 51% rye, like the wheat and everything else, to be considered a rye. So it's the ratio of what it's made from, so the grains. So this again is the Whistle Pig Straight Rye Whiskey, single barrel, aged 10 years, from Whistle Pig Distilleries out of Vermont. Again, I'd give it a 7 out of a 10. drinking it neat. Again, normally I drink it on the rocks, but this is a good one to add to your collection if you don't have, or if you're going to start a collection. It's on the higher end price range. It's not super expensive, but give it a try. And we'll see you next time on the Whiskey Vibe.